What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Brunch with DESB. I'm your host, Des, also known as DESB. If you're new here, welcome. I don't have the world's best setup anymore. I was actually looking at my old reels the other day, and I was like, fuck, dude, my podcast room was kind of sick, But it is what it is, and I think this is a testimony to remind you that no matter where you're at, if you want to start a podcast, start a podcast. People are always going to bitch, oh, so many people have a podcast, take the mic away. But like the power of podcasting is the power of communication, the power of a discussion, the power of talking, and listening. And it's so human. I don't know. So anyways, that's my tangent for this morning. Happy Sunday. Before we really get into the episode, I do want to go ahead and take a drink of water. I have my little 32-ounce Hydro jug, which honestly, I usually use my 40-ounce. The 32 is just, I do think it is kind of superior. I don't use it enough, but I think it really is just like that bitch. So let's take some drinks. I'm going to be honest, I have not drank enough water today, but I have drinking almost a full Alani. So let's take a few sips together in solidarity. That was like 10 seconds. Sometimes, do you ever do that when you set like a timer or you're like, oh, I'm going to take 10 chugs. And then once you get to 10, you're like, don't be a pussy, do 12. You won't do 20. Like, do you ever talk to yourself like that in your head? Or like, am I just schizophrenic? So that's what's kind of what my day has started out like, is not drinking enough water and drinking way too much caffeine. Like we all do. If you notice what I'm wearing today, you might be like, where's that sweater from? It's like my top question right now. Where's your sweater from? Where is it from? I'll tell you, it's from Petula, or my favorite known as Petular. It is their brand new reversible twist sweater. So it actually twists here in the front. You can wear it the other way. I'm wearing this with my Paragon. This is like a new closet staple for me. I can't say I have a lot of really good sweaters that can go over like, a sports bra or like a tank top or a cami. This definitely does. It comes out the 15th. Very transparently. I don't know what day it is. I think it's the 12th today. So by the time this is out, it should be out, I think. But anyways, Petula, code DESB for 10% off. As always, we have quite a few things to chat about today. And I really want to start fresh with the biggest sensation right now on social media. And that is the CEO of United Healthcare getting completely whacked by Luigi. I'm not going to butcher his last name, but basically everyone is thirst trapping this, shall I say, killer. And, creating conspiracies about it, creating content about it, which I think at some point is funny. And I think that is, I'm going to hell for laughing. Like, I'm very aware I'm going to hell for laughing, but it's something that it's funny to laugh at. It's fucked up when you like take a step back and realize why you're laughing, right? Like, it's funny in the moment. You're like, ha 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 he he. And then the minute you kind of think about this guy who had a mom, who had a dad, who maybe had a sibling or had kids or, I don't know the details. It's kind of like, then you're like, oh, this is someone real, right? Like, we're not just like laughing at a fun fictional character on like the fucking Outer Banks. Like, we're talking about a real guy that also killed a real guy who also had a family. And it's such a weird boundary of like social media to talk about and to like, yeah, like, do we laugh about it? Everyone was making jokes about it being like a overdue bill or some again, I'm literally gonna like giggle. Like, it's terrible. Anyways, this kid, he was found at McDonald's, like literally eating a hash brown after he just killed this person. Like, it's a pretty interesting story, to be honest. Like, when you really read about it, you are kind of like, this is fucking weird, but also that's how like psychopaths operate. So I don't know. Anyways, he was a handsome guy, right? By no means was he this, I don't know, what you would maybe stereotype as like a typical killer, like kind of deranged looking, maybe looking like out of body, mental health, right? You look at this kid and you think, oh, that's a dude that's like got it together. He even was studying like artificial intelligence. So in light of his actions, people are now making these like thirst traps about him. And like, honestly, guys, like, where's the boundary anymore? And I guess the thing is like, that's the thing is there is none. And it's a really weird thing of the internet that we've kind of morphed into is like, there are no boundaries. I don't know. It's such an interesting thing because I'm not going to sit here and be hypocritical by being like, oh, that's so fucked up. Because guess what? There's plenty of people who are like out there, you know, unable, you know, maybe they have a disability. They can't walk. They don't have a leg. They don't have an arm, whatever. And even they're out here making content about it. And it's funny. Like, do you ever see the Down syndrome kids on TikTok or on whatever? There is always a comment on there that says like, vibes are up, he's down or something, right? And like, we're giggling about it. Like, there is a certain part of social media that, you know, it brings humor to these situations, but like, is this something to bring humor to? I don't know. That's just been on my mind this week after seeing like literally all these thirst traps. And I mean, the same thing happened with Lyle and Eric Menendez when this Monsters documentary came back out. They were thirst trapping the Monsters docu-series, kind of series in general, whatever. Now, granted, they were kind of speaking more on like the two actors of the show, not necessarily speaking on like Eric and Lyle specifically, but you kind of get this like glorified persona. We think back to like Ted Bundy, right? He was so handsome, attractive. Everyone almost like loved him. It's like this weird blurred line. And so that's kind of what I feel like took the world by storm this week with this Luigi kid. And also his name's Luigi. Like, everything about this situation is just so fucking weird. And it's just a really odd thing. And I think that's why it like captured everything. Everyone's like, why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't we talking about? It's like, this is so blinding. Like, it's like a car accident you can't turn away from, you know? So I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think this week about this story and just all the things, because it is such an interesting turn of events. And again, this poor guy was taken away from his family, and then now the person who killed him, Luigi, is taken away from his family. It's just all over bad decision. And it's a decision that you can make in a split second that changes everyone's life. You know, in that 1 second where he made that final decision of doing this heinous act, he now ripple effect so many fucking people, right? Like, even think about the workers of United Healthcare, right? The people that he was in charge of. How that shit just got flipped upside their head. Like, what the fuck? No one's getting their claims adjusted this month, you know? Like, I don't blame them. That's a huge thing to be like, oh my God, what do we do? And then how do we mourn? How are we supposed to mourn and grieve who maybe was our boss or our coworker, whatever, when then all of this stuff is going on and we have to work, and then we're getting on TikTok or we're getting on social media to doom scroll, and then there's like jokes about it. I don't know. I'm kind of talking on my soapbox right now. I've just been thinking about it a lot recently because I see it on the news in a very serious manner, and then I open up TikTok or like Reels, and it's like a joke, and it's just kind of fucked up. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that millennial of me? I'm not sure. Another thing that I found out as of late, Gerry Turner, remember our Golden Bachelor? So last year I rode for this motherfucker so hard on Instagram, TikTok, Reels, here on the podcast. Like, I loved our first Golden Bachelor, Gerry, right? Well, come to find out, him and Teresa, remember Teresa who I didn't want to win, they get engaged and then they get married in January. So this is weird, but like, guys, this was just this January. Okay, just this January. All of a sudden, I want to say maybe March, April, somewhere very frequent, like very fast after, they announced that they're splitting up, right? Come to find out, and this might be old news for some of you, I just found out, a few weeks before their split, Gerry found out that he had like a terminal cancer. So here we are in all of America too, hating on Gerry. All this spewing hate, you guys wasted our time, worst Golden Bachelor ever, like ruined the franchise already, XYZ. But I just thought that was a really interesting discovery if you guys kind of hung out with me during our Bachelor like recaps and stuff. So fucking sad. Like, I loved this man. Although he pissed me off again after the wedding and they like divorced or whatever the fuck. But now I get it, and it makes me fucking sad. It makes me fucking sad that I judged him. Oh, on the opposite end, we're talking about engagements, divorces, or elopements and annulments. Selena Gomez is engaged to Benny Blanco. And if you guys scroll back in my podcast, you will see a podcast that is literally titled, I think, Selena is Annoying. Selena Gomez is Annoying. And I'm going to be very honest. I still stand by that. She gives me Debbie Ryan energy. And even, Wizards of Waverly Place, I think I liked her. That was really the only time and place I ever did enjoy her as a character at all. Yeah, that's all I'll say. But she's engaged, and they've been together for a year. And listen, at some point, if it's real, right? I don't think you can put a time limit on like, oh my God, they're engaged after this long. It's like, if you know, you know. But it is interesting, to the least. I don't know much about Benny Blanco. I don't think a lot of us do. I know some of his music, but that's about it. So I guess if she's happy, she's happy. But it's funny because a lot of people, they still pit her against Hailey Bieber, right? It's always going to be Hailey Bieber versus Selena. Like, which, granted, if we go back in the lore, we go back in like Camp Hailey and Camp Selena, there are so many weird similar parallels of like, quote, Hailey copying Selena. Like, I get it. It's quite fucking crazy. So anyways, Jack Bieber, right? Hailey and Justin's baby was born this year. And then, all of a sudden, here we go. Selena having her moment now. She's engaged. Kind of funny because someone was like commenting under the post. I always run to the comments. Is it just me? Probably not. Run to the comments, and someone said the fact that Selena's getting engaged the same year that Jack was born. And again, it is kind of funny. They're both, it's almost like Hailey had her moment, and then like Selena's like, quote, taking it from her. Obviously not really. It's just kind of funny how it's like really in the same year. It is quite hilarious. So good for you, Selena. Like, I don't know what else to kind of tell you. We're still keeping an eye out, All right, I'll leave that one there. James Kennedy was also arrested this week for domestic violence, which he's a misdemeanor domestic violence. Don't have much detail now. It was just reported today. If you guys are a Vanderpump Rules girly, guy, whoever you are, they, them, Vanderpump Rules, them. That's a fun phrase. James Kennedy was arrested. So this obviously, I'm assuming, pertains to his girlfriend, Allie, which they've been together for quite a few years now. And there was previous accusations against him for this before. I don't think anything ever came of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think anything came of it. Well, now it has. I hope that Allie leaves. Number one, I hope James gets help, the kind of help that he should have been having for his whole fucking life. I think he's gone, obviously in and out of like rehab and getting help. But at what point are you like genuinely changed? I think it's a consistent effort of transformation that has to occur so deeply. And if you've watched Vanderpump Rules, you can see how deeply wounded James is as a person. Him and Jax, they are both fucked up. It's always a J name. Tell me I'm wrong that it's always someone with the name that starts with fucking J that is toxic in your life. I bet you can name one right now. 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to say my name, but I know a J name that was toxic as fuck in my life. So go off with that. Hopefully, Allie's okay. Kristen Doty is probably rolling over right now, which, by the way, she's having a baby girl. I didn't report on that a few weeks ago. Not me acting like a reporter. Sorry, I didn't report on that. So she's pregnant. Kristen Doty's pregnant. Vanderpump Rules is not returning. There's just a lot of VPR news lately that obviously you guys have probably all seen, but that is new as of today, which I was like shocked about. Last piece of like update that I'll give to you guys, because I was just like shooketh to the core the other week. I have followed Isaac and Allison for like ever. Okay. Allison Cooch. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And obviously Isaac, just call him Isaac Cooch, right? So I followed them for like literally years and years now, which is crazy to think of like how long I've followed some people. Well, a year ago and some change, like a few days, Allison had her daughter, Scotty, and she actually like fooled us all because she had her like 2 weeks earlier, but like posted later. It was like, surprise, I've been recovering. Anyways, whatever, go off. She kept the privacy of her child for the year. You'd always see kind of like the back of her head and her cutie little body. Oh my God, I just knew this girl was cute as fuck from the beginning. Like, if you know Allison, you know Isaac, they probably made a beautiful baby, okay? So anyways, it's Scotty B's birthday, right? And I'm like, oh my God, cute. Can't wait to see Allison's post. Like, just, it's cute to look back at like a mom and her journey and postpartum. And Allison was very open about postpartum being difficult for her. And as a mom myself, and have done it now 3 times, looking back at each postpartum experience, I can like look back in hindsight and be like, oh my good golly God, I'm glad I made it out alive. Allison posts, you know, oh my God, happy 1 year baby. I'm watching this video and it's this like really compelling song. It's, you know, and I'm like, oh, so sweet. Like, oh, look at this moment. Look at this moment she's sharing. Oh, it's so sweet. And then it hits me. I'm looking at her baby's face and I start bawling. She shared Scotty with us, with the world. And I've been looking at this baby for this almost whole minute video, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together that I've never seen this baby, but I knew all along how fucking cute this baby would be. Like, it was so funny to me. Like, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even notice. This is her. This is what she looks like. So Allison and Issac, I know you're never going to watch this, but if you do, thank you so much for sharing Scotty with us, because that is such a personal thing to do. And I always knew this girl was cute. Like, I always knew this girl was cute, but man, she is so cute. And it was just, oh my God, I was literally bawling. And so then anyways, Allison shares that. And then all of a sudden the next day comes up, boom, she's on Kylie Kelsey's fucking podcast. I almost pissed everywhere on the ground. Like, this is exactly what I needed after the Eras tour. I was like, what's going to keep me going? And then all of a sudden, Kylie and Allison crossover blew my mind. So haven't listened to the episode yet, you know, full transparency, but it's on my list. I downloaded it to watch and to listen. And how cool. I just feel like, you know, to see people like living out, I wouldn't even say their dreams. Like, I think if you talk to either Issac or Allison collectively, or really anyone who's kind of been in that situation, I don't think you would ask them, oh, is this your dream? Are you living your dream? It's like, I didn't even know this was a reality I could live, you know? So to ask, oh, are you living what your dream was? I doubt this is what they thought either of them would be doing, but it's what they're excelling at. And they're just awesome. I'm just had to share that, because if you are Allie and Issac stan like me, seeing that, I was in like fucking tears. And then I showed my friend. I was like, dude, did you see this yet? And I'm crying again. It was such a mess. I finally went to go see Wicked. I know. I'm like 3 weeks late. It is the most embarrassing amount of time that it's taken me to see a movie, but also realize this movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes fucking long. It is hard for me to be away from my baby for that long. Side note, I have been pumping because I'm like judging a pageant. So hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit of freedom as I build up a new supply that's more like dairy-free boobies. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, went to see Wicked. Listen, I knew this movie was gonna be good, right? Like, of course it's gonna be good. Like, it's Wicked. I personally have seen Wicked on Broadway twice. I went once in South Bend at like a small Morris Theater. Shout out if you know what I'm talking about. And then I went last year, so 2023, I went in June. My sister and I went to New York to see it in the theater. It was amazing. I was bawling. It was so good, right? Regardless, I know it's good. Going into the movie, immediately when it starts, the opening scene, I mean, like running through Munchkin Land, and I watched all the behind the scenes before I went. Like, if you go on YouTube, search Wicked, you can find all these like behind the scenes of, you know, the directors talking about the shots and what they did and how they got the shot and all this stuff. So I have this plethora of knowledge of what I'm going to see, and it just made me appreciate it even more. So like running through all the tulips, to be able for me to be like, oh my God, they planted all of those one by one, 9 million fucking tulips they planted for Munchkin Land. And just understanding the like love and passion that they put into this project. The opening scene gave me chills immediately. And then, you know, she's dead. She's dead. She's dead. I'm never going Broadway. Seeing that, like, oh, I was already like smiling. Like, I was so embarrassed. So then they end up like, you know, starting to go through all the music. And I just think it was such a balance of humor, not like breaking character, but like keeping character and keeping it fun and fresh, very tailored to like Cynthia and Ariana specifically. But the whole cast was just really good. I loved the colors, the realism, the lack of CGI in a good way. Like, they didn't rely on CGI to make this movie. They really tried to make so much human effort to make it such a real set. And oh my God, it was just fantastic. The colors, the everything. And some people I was watching, I think it was like maybe on the Chicks in the Office podcast, I saw a clip where they were talking about Oz and like Shiz and how this one person was like, hot take, like, I don't think it was like elaborate enough. You know, like I wanted it to feel more fantasy. And then on the opposite end, I think Rhea was saying like, you know, no, that was the point. Like it was supposed to feel real. And I totally agree. I think everything about the Wicked set in the scenes, as much as it still felt like kind of fantasy-ish, it still felt very real. Like it didn't feel too fake or too out there. I don't know. Again, give me your guys' feedback, but I loved it. And I thought Ariana and Cynthia would be more annoying to me. After understanding the complexity of how their filming schedules went into this, including the guy who played Fiyero, Jonathan Bailey, he was working on 2 other fucking projects while he's filming this. So he's going back and forth, being like 3 different characters at once. I cannot imagine his payout, but I also can't imagine his mental health. Cynthia, she was only home every night for a year, maybe a top of 6 hours. Like, they really put everything into this filming. And even Ariana, she released Eternal Sunshine during the filming. So like, then I'm like, okay, when were you recording this? How were you recording music when you were making this? And all these things. And now come to find out, it comes to light, Ariana's done some interviews. They got wind of this project and her potentially being Glinda, Linda, before the pandemic. So this has been in the works for almost 5 years, period. And then produced and done within, you know, whatever time span, call it a year and a half of like just filming. The amount of love, effort, passion that went into this, I think for both Ariana and Cynthia specifically, it showed. Their performances were amazing. And after I left the theater, almost hysterically bawling at the end, by the way, I understood why these girls were crying in every interview, especially with not just how much work was put into it, but like how invested they were into their personal characters. Maybe that's, you know, the method acting of it, but it changed them truly. And I think for both of them, especially for Ariana, as we know, this was a dream role for her. And to be able to live out a dream like that is insane, right? To be able to know, oh my God, I manifested this almost like this happened to me. So cool. Like it was such a fantastic movie, and I won't talk much more about it. I cannot wait for Act 2. I really hope, I would love to see this director really redo Wizard of Oz and really give it character too. I don't know if that's like a far cry. I would love to see more things be brought, like more Broadway shows brought to movie and done well. Even a couple years ago, I mean, it's probably 10 years ago now, Anne Hathaway and everyone redid Les Miserables. It's one of my favorite Broadway shows. I've actually never seen it live. I would love to. I think it's actually coming live near me soon in 2025. I'd love to go. Les Mis is one of my favorite Broadway shows as well. And I would love to see more Broadway be brought to movies. I just think it gives a new breath to what a lot of Broadway performers do day to day, and be able to honor what they put so much work into. And then be able to watch it in a different way too, with like budget. Let me tell you, Wicked had Wicked budget, bro. Like, holy fuck. If you think about how much they're paying out everyone, like, I would argue they had more budget than Barbie. I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like they do, because really in Barbie, they had a lot of high-paying actors too, but I don't know. Would Wicked surpass that? I feel like just the budget of creating Wicked, the sets, the props, but also maybe Barbie would. I'd be curious which one spent more on marketing, Wicked or Barbie. Wicked was definitely 2024's Barbie, you know? I don't know. That's a good question, honestly. That's a great question. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. I talk about BetterHelp a lot, seeing as that it's benefited me in the past 2 years. Some people think, you know, maybe, oh, things have to get really bad until you can go to therapy. You're like, I'm not depressed. Why do I need therapy? But really, therapy is a tool to where you're
using it before things were to get worse and to avoid being at your lowest low. I don't know about you, but why the fuck would you want to get to your lowest low before you climb out to the top again, right? BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video and even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on your camera. You don't have to wear pants. You don't even have to put on pajamas. You could be naked wherever you're at and do a therapy session with your therapist. So for me personally, I like to put my AirPods in. I'll walk around my desk room. I'll go for a walk outside when it's nice out, whatever it may be. And that's what works for me. It is customizable and it is more affordable than most in-person therapy. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. And girls, don't forget to get on BetterHelp.com/DESB and put in that discount code. If you forget that, you do not get that 10% off your first month. And that is the deal with being a listener of Brunch with Desb.
I'm kind of resetting up here. I hope I'm like in screen, like, because honestly, I don't know. Let's go ahead and take another sip. I'm going to choose my Alani Energy this time. Hawaiian shaved ice. Hawaiian shaved ice is my passion. Okay. Last thing I will give you guys a touch up for. Chatted about it last week. We will not be having a January challenge. I'm just kind of saying it to remind everyone because, again, we've had a January challenge every year since 2017, 2018. I think I decided, yes, it was 2018 was my first official New Year's challenge. And so it's a change, but I think the more, again, I'm just speaking to what I said last week, the more that my community's changed and even my life has changed, the more I realize, like, none of us are really ready in January. You know, like, we got other stuff on our plate. Kids are going back to school. A lot of teachers are, you know, prepping stuff during winter break to go back to school. Parents are just recovering from the holidays, even financially recovering from, you know, the holidays and all of the things that come with the new year. Some people are traveling back from, you know, maybe in-laws or family or vacations. So it's just a lot going on where I'm like, it's okay to start later than January 1. You know, like, a lot of people I think are like, oh my God, I have to start January 1. It's like, literally, no, you don't. You know, like, no, you don't. So what we're actually going to do, and I'll get more details coming out, but on the first full week of January, so it's technically January 5th to January 11th, we're going to be doing a 1 week only offer where you can get your first month of my membership for just $15. Okay, just $15. You can get the first month of membership. The reason I'm doing the first month is because for the month of January, we're going to have New Year, Busy Me, our 3-day program with an optional 4th day if you want, that is going to lead you into then our first challenge of the year in February. I'm starting in February. How the fuck do you say that? February, whatever. So if you want to join our membership, that'll be a really good time for you to pick up and a good time for you to just get a, you know, one-time offer, try it out, and then be able to join the membership and have that for the continued duration. So again, mark your calendars, January 5th to 11th. And the reason why I picked it on the 5th as well and not like, oh my God, it's January 1st, here's a special, is, again, quit aligning the 1st of January with the day that you have to start transforming. Let me say it again. Quit aligning the 1st of January as the day that you have to start transforming. It's not a do or die. You can still start on January 5th. You can still start on January 11th. You can still start July 1st. I don't give a fuck, right? Like, it's up to you to choose that start date. The stars aren't always going to align for you to be able to have this fresh start in January. Shit happens. Life happens. Life's busy. Don't think if you don't start on the 1st that you're screwed for the whole year of 2025. And I'll throw another caveat. Say you start on the 1st, say you start on the 5th, and maybe you fall off for a month. Also doesn't mean that you don't get the rest of the year to transform, okay? It's up to you to just start when you can, pick up when you need to, okay? But that's kind of what we're going to be running for January, and I just wanted to share that here so you guys, first off, heard it here first. And then we have our January program, obviously the New Year Busy Me. That's going to be up to you. It's a plan that's going to live as a membership plan. So if the month of July, you have a busy month and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to do that 3-day week program that Des made in the membership that I have access to because I'm a member, you can use it. It's going to be available and it's going to live there. So once you're a member, you'll see all the plans populate in your plans tab that you have access to. And that plans list is only going to grow. So if you have any questions, let me know. But we got that. We got our February challenge going into March. And then, like I mentioned, we're doing something special leading up to me turning 30. I'm not going to ruin it all here, but I'll just tell you, we got a busy, fun first half of the year. It's going to be really awesome. And I can't wait to just kind of venture into my 30s with you guys. And, not that it's going to like change any overnight. I'm not going to like wake up and be 30 and like my life transforms crazy, but it's going to be just another part of life that we get to kind of all evolve through together. Whether you're already in your 30s or you're close behind me, or you're a 1995er like me and next year is your year. It's kind of crazy that it's already here, isn't it? So sometimes I think I remember vividly filling out a letter to myself that I would receive 5 years after high school. We did it our senior year, and our teacher was like, all right, this will be at your doorstep in 5 years. And I was like, holy shit, that's going to take so long to get here. And here I am now, 11 years, 11 going on 12. I think 11 going on 12, graduated from high school. I graduated in 2013, and so that's crazy in and of itself too. So anyways, I'll stop boring you with that. New launches, we had Paragon last week. Petula, obviously, that launched. We had Body Noir. Beautiful name. Like, I love the name Noir. I think it's like a perfume kind of. And of course, I loved it. As always, I feel like there's a lot of collections you can skip. Petula, I feel like I've not had a skippable collection in a long time. And I say this all the time. You can go back every podcast. I keep saying it. I'm like, Petula's putting their pussy in their launches. It's so true. Like, literally no skips. No skips on this CD. Paragon, I've been skipping, this can skip, this can skip. Nothing super like, wow. Buff Bunny has just been kind of like messy for me lately. I feel like all my packages are like getting delayed, shipping's fucked up. I don't know. Like, every business has like growing pains, or, they're transitioning a warehouse. Like, I don't know what's going on, right? I'm making stuff up, but I try so hard to give grace, right? So it's like, it's just hard to speak on stuff when like, I don't have it, right? And I've mentioned to you guys before, I'm not an exclusive athlete, meaning I'm not tied down to Buff Bunny. Therefore, I'm not expecting to get my packages all the time, on time, etc. When like, I don't want to say I don't matter, but I'm not exclusive, The only thing that I have on a lot of people is just time. I've been with Buff Bunny since 2018. A lot of other people have not, so I have veteranship maybe in that way, but that's it, right? I just have, I don't know, that really doesn't even matter anymore, but I can say I believed in it the longest, right? Next episode, I think, will probably be my 2024 review. I just wanted to review like everything that's kind of happened this year and kind of rate it and talk about it and take us down a trip of memory lane. So I wanted to kind of review like, okay, here's this company, I thought this or that, whatever. So yeah, that's kind of it. I wanted to get into a few tell me a secrets to kind of wrap up the episode and have a little bit of fun. I saw a few ones come through, and I also went back in the archives and I wanted to pull some up as well, just because so many people write in and I don't get to all of them. So I wanted to kind of go back and see if there's any good old ones. Starting out strong here. Once my high school boyfriend cheated on me, so I banged his best friend, dated him for 2 years, ruining their friendship, and then he cheated on me, so I started hanging out with people he hated I was friends with, and then banged all 6 of them. And I'm about to marry one of them. Sincerely, the little bitch that could. Guys, I did not, like, I don't know how to say this without being like, oh, I'm like this. I don't have a high body count, like, at all. So to picture, like, revenge banging a ton of people is, like, so funny to me. Because, like, I would never. I never did, I should say. But, like, go the fuck off if you did. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I wish I did because I love my husband. I love what I get to do with my husband. But I'm just making a point. It's like, I couldn't imagine, like, live your life. I had a threesome in college and never told a soul about it. Sincerely, a closet freak. Again, I can't imagine. Like, I would be way too jealous. Like, I feel like a threesome, especially if you're dating one of those people, I feel like it could really make or break your relationship. Like, if it went good, I feel like it adds fire to the kettle, right? But like if it goes bad, I feel like it ruins it. Like it would ruin a relationship. This is a long one. Buckle up. I'm going to share my losing my virginity story because literally not a soul on earth knows about it besides me, the boy, and my mom. Okay, so we're freshmen in high school and we had been dating, whatever the fuck that looked like at that age, for over a year, and we 100% knew what we were doing. Backstory real quick. My parents were fairly strict growing up. I kept track of everything me and my sister were doing. This will be important for later. So anyways, we were both in my friend's quinceañera in rehearsals because we were all mostly white and can't dance for shit. Every day at 5 p.m. at the park down the road from my house. My parents let my boyfriend and I go to my house alone after school to do homework until it was time to go to rehearsals. Obviously, we were not doing homework. This was prime experiment time. One day he said, let's just have sex tomorrow. And I was like, dude, oh my God, yes, you're right. Let's. So the next day comes, we leave school, and he's already rocking a boner. We get to my house, go straight to the room and start making out. He pulls out a condom and says the cliche, are you sure? I'm like, fuck yes. So enter penis into vagina and bam, we're no longer virgins. This next part will blow your mind. I finished. Literally in 2 minutes, what the fuck? Then I got scared and told him to get off me because I didn't want to get pregnant. Eye rolls. So I'm sitting there, my world rocked. He has blue balls and we hear my mom pulling into the driveway. She's on some crackhead shit that day because she was in the door within 5 seconds of us hearing her pull in. I'm scrambling to get dressed. He runs across the hallway, shorts in one hand, dick and balls in the other, and my mom is in the house. I walk out of my room casually and she gives me a big hug and kiss and asks how I am. The fuck? Fast forward 1 month to when, naturally, with no symptoms, I think I'm pregnant since I had sex with a boy. I go to my mom and mom, I think I'm pregnant. She says, shit. Then it's silent. Then she says, you're not pregnant. And I said, what the fuck? How would you know? Well, it turns out she saw the motherfucking boy run across the hallway with his dick and found the empty condom in the trash can. This boy threw away a used condom in the same bathroom my daddy uses. And then she asked, did you like it enough to keep doing it? Is it something that you'll keep doing? Shocked, I said, yes, ma'am. She calls a doctor the next day to get me put on birth control. Wow. Remember how I mentioned my parents were basically helicopter parents? Yeah. You can imagine how shocked I was to find all this out. She was totally cool with it. I found out when I started college that she told my dad what she saw that day, and all he said was, oh no. He's never spoken about it. I've never told anyone the story, so thanks for listening. I have plenty more secrets to share one day. Hope you enjoyed. Sincerely, the girl who mastered the art of orgasming. Wow, that was a roller coaster. I mean, it starts off with a very typical, like, high schooler energy, you know, like, haha, we were having sex, almost got walked in on, whatever. And then it ends with like, yeah, that's crazy. Especially to have a helicopter mom who was so cool about that. Would not be me. I will never forget. My mom texted me. I was in the middle of AP bio. I'm literally dissecting like a fucking lamb's eye. And I get a text message from my mom. I just found out you had sex with blank. We are talking after school or something. Mind you guys, this is like fifth hour. I still have 2 more hours of school. And I have to sit with this fucking hole in my heart knowing that my mom knows I've had sex. I wanted to fucking throw up. I think I was a sophomore too, and I was not driving yet. So I'm pretty sure she picked me up from school. Anyway, one time I went to a rave with my best friends to see one of my favorite artists ever. I took edibles beforehand and had the dose that my friend gave to me. He recommended and took it himself. Problem is, he's huge with like 50 pounds and 2 years of weed experience on me. Needless to say, I was tripping balls. I ended up being so sensory overloaded by the lights and sound, I sat down in the bathroom with my head in between my knees for an hour. A group of bouncers came up to me and started asking me all these questions and threatened to kick me out. I managed to look them dead in the face and managed to lie through my teeth, convince them I just finished an intense course of antibiotics and the lights made me nauseous. They immediately apologized, brought me to the back with a chair and gave me free water. They were charging like $8 for them, so score. They laughed with me and kept me company till I felt better, even though just moments before I was so high I couldn't speak. I know I proudly call myself the best liar under pressure ever, and I'm always the one to talk to if anyone needs out of a tough situation. P.S. I woke up high the next morning. Literally never again. Love you, Des. Sincerely, the world's worst stoner babe. Dude, I'm telling you guys, like, I know people say, oh, you don't trip when you're on weed. Like, weed doesn't make you, quote, trip. Yeah, the fuck it does. Like, yes, it does. Weed makes me so weird. I see things differently. I can't. Yes, it does make you trip. Yes, it does make you fucked up. I fucking stand by that. Also, so paranoid. I can't. When I was 18, I was in a 4-month secret relationship with a married 47-year-old who was also my best friend's dad. Hence the reason why it was a secret. Whoops. Long story short, the whole family and literally whole fucking town found out, and we aren't friends anymore. Sincerely written from a girl whose shit wasn't together. A moment of silence for that fucking secret. You were 18 fucking a 47-year-old man. And he was married and your best friend's. Like, no, if you are the one that wrote this in, I need to, okay, any situation that happens like this, whether it's like I was fucking my teacher, like whatever, my boss, how does that start? How does it happen? Like, is it a vibe you get? Like, who makes the first move? Because what happens if you make the move and it's the wrong move and then you're embarrassed for the rest of your life? Like, how do you even know? How do you even know that, like, now's the time to try? Or, oh, he's feeling it too. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, girl, I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking crazy. That's fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. That's fucked up. So I'm making out with this guy in his apartment and we were legit about to get it in. Mind you, his apartment was nice and clean. The lights were dimmed and the mood was set. So girl, he goes down on me and I'm like, okay, this is good shit. So it's getting heated. Finally, I jump on him. Girl, let me tell you, the D was a waste. I should have just left him eating me out because it was such a disappointment. I straight up got up, got my shit, and I said, I gotta go. He was like, wait. I was like, no. I walk out the door. Dude is still following me out, butt naked. The neighbor saw him. When I tell you dude was out of his mind, it was the funniest shit, and the neighbor started whistling at him. Oh my God. Never again. Blocked him and do not know about him now. Sorry, a tiny D is a no-no. Sincerely, that sparkle bitch. Why do some boys get small wee-wees? Like, shouldn't there just be an average size that everyone's kind of like, I mean, I guess it goes with it, girls and like boobs too, right? Like some girls have small boobs, some have big, but why do some go small? Like, why are some small? Like, what affects penis size at it, like genetically, like at the DNA core of a wee-wee? What affects a wee-wee size? I don't know. I'm going to ask ChatGPT later. My abusive ex-boyfriend showed up to my work and tried to propose to me. He had shown up several times before and I called the cops. This time he tried to propose thinking I would take him back. LMAO. Turned out he got me pregnant. I had a miscarriage, which was the worst thing I've ever been through. Got a restraining order and he made me bring documentation of the pregnancy ending and miscarriage to court. Oh, and the entire time we were together, he was cheating on me with his ex and showing me the messages. Now I'm happier than ever and I'm getting married to an airman next year. Sincerely, the better than ever, the bitch. Dude, some of us women, dude, the shit that we put up with is wild. And we are stronger because of it, okay? Okay, this is just short and to the point. I made a guy come so hard during a BJ that it came out of his nose. Sincerely, I'm a pro. Are you sure it wasn't just snot? I made my roomie play a drinking game I saw on TikTok, and we played so many rounds in a row to get the perfect TikTok to post. In a couple hours, we had finished off like 16 claws and some Tito's. The guy I'm talking to came over shortly and wanted to have sex, so we go up to my room. I started out great, but then he switched us to doggy style and got really into it. I projectile vomited all over my pillows and headboard as he was going to pound town on me. Thank God I wasn't on top of him. He put me in the shower, cleaned me off, stripped my bed, tucked me into my roommate's bed. He's still talking to me too. Sincerely, I'm scared of drunk sex now. Okay, well, that was a green flag, though, how he responded to that. Like, I mean, listen, at that point, it is kind of his fault. Like, he shouldn't have been hitting it from the back like that. I just put on a fresh self-tan. My husband was in the mood, and I was like, hell yeah. He wanted me to sit on his face, so I jumped straight on him. He went to Pound Town, easily the best sex we've had. Next morning, he woke up with self-tan just around his mouth, on his cheeks, from my legs. So to this day, he still doesn't know what happened. guys, you gotta just be honest about that. Because what if, did he go to work? You know, like, come on, you gotta be nice. I've been married and divorced twice. I know, stupid at 26, but the anger and hurt of knowing that both of them cheated on me is a feeling that I never want. I have never been a first pick in a relationship or valued by people that were supposed to love me. They only cheated on me and abused me. It's shaken me to my core and I haven't quite recovered. I've just started going to therapy, which is helping, but it still hurts. Sincerely, ex-wifey. Yeah, you know, married and divorced because of cheating, to me, that doesn't count. Like, to me, that doesn't count on paper. Like, I don't think that count. You know, like body count, sex. If they have a small wee-wee, it doesn't count. Same thing. If they cheated on you, it doesn't count. Like, no, you haven't been married twice. No, sorry. You've been cheated on twice. Do you know what I'm saying? I found out I was pregnant in college. Around the time I conceived, I was being a hoe, honestly. I'd broken up with my boyfriend a few days before, and I hooked up with 3 different guys that weekend. I assumed it was my exes, so we're co-parenting. Oh, fuck. Here's where it gets wild. Like 2 years later, all 3 guys called me within 3 months of each other. They all wanted to claim my kid as theirs, and I had to break it to them that they weren't the dad. One of them begged for a paternity test, even though he was married, ? Wild ass times. Sincerely, little hoe mama. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to be a hoe, I'm fine with you being a hoe. Do not let random people come inside you. For real. Not only should we be using condoms for protection of all sorts, but like, I think it's different for someone to like literally come inside you like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It feels illegal. This story I'm about to share with you is absolutely the craziest story in the whole entire world. I am convinced. All right, listen, I'm fucking sat, and then we're going to end the episode here. It better be that fucking good that my jaw's on the floor and I'm ready to leave. That's all I'm saying, okay? Anyways, I started typing this on my phone, but I had to switch over to my laptop so I could give the story its true justice. Now, let me begin. I'm literally so fucking sad for this. Like, do I need a drink before we begin? I need to probably clear my own throat. So I dated this guy who was 3 years older than me on and off for 5 years. It was an extremely unhealthy relationship, one that I should have gotten out way sooner than I did. However, I was super insecure at the time and afraid of being on my own. We will refer to this guy as the ex throughout the story. It is important to note that the ex had severe anger issues that was well known by family and friends. The ex had a brother who we will refer to as the brother, who I thought was super cute, and I always had a bit of an innocent crush on him throughout the time that I dated the ex. One day, I added the brother on Snapchat again, super innocent, not thinking of anything since I'd known him as family for a while. I did not think it was weird at all. I was out to lunch at Chipotle with my friends, posted a picture of my lunch on Snap Story. The brother viewed it, and then 2 hours later sent me an individual snap saying something along the lines of, "Oh, you like Chipotle now." Side note, I used to hate Chipotle. I know, what the fuck. I still remember where I was receiving the snap because of course I was freaking out. My friend was with me at the time, and due to the fact that I could not express my secret obsession with him, we made a fake number to text him on, LOL. I revealed my identity by mistake by tweeting a song lyric that we were talking about through text on the fake number, LMFAO. This happened in June, and I was not talking or hanging with the ex. So after this incident, I did not see the brother for a few months. I'd become super close with their sister. We will call her the sister. And she asked me to be an assistant coach to the team she was coaching. The brother was also going to be helping out with the team, which I thought was going to be super awkward due to the fake number situation. Side note, to this day, I'm not sure why the brother was not creeped out by me texting him from a fake number, or maybe he just was. Who knows? Turns out it wasn't, but all he would do whenever he got the chance was stare at me, and I don't mean an innocent stare. It was like a legit deep look into the soul stare. One weekend, our team won the championship, and afterwards, I texted him and asked if he wanted to go get celebratory drinks. This was late in October. He agreed, and we went to the local dive bar and ended up being a place where I would come and hang out at more often than not. However, at the time, I asked him if he wanted to get celebratory drinks. I was only 20. For 2 to 3 weeks after, we would go get drinks at this dive bar and end up staying till 2 or 3 in the morning. This is when I realized that there was something weird and strong in the connection I felt towards him that I'd not felt towards anyone else. I know this sounds crazy, but it was like a soulmate kind of connection and made me question at the time if I ended up with the wrong brother, LMFAO. Anyways, drinks are expensive as hell, so I ended up asking the ex to borrow $2,000 so I could continue going to the bar with the brother, LMFAO. Oh my God, I can't remember when I started exactly talking to the ex again, but at this point was strictly friends. One day in late November, I was texting the brother about going to the bar and he dipped. At this point, I was super into the brother, so of course when he didn't answer, I got pissed and asked the ex to go to the bar with me so I could see the brother. Halfway through the night, the brother came up to me and said, after tonight, you can't come back here. They're going to call the cops. This was one of my favorite places to go to at the time, so I was super upset with the news. I asked the brother who told on me for being underage. He said he didn't know, so I left the bar with the ex and went home. Continuing to coach the sports team with the sister and the brother, completely unaware of who got me kicked out of the dive bar. During this period of time, end of November 2015 to January 2016, I received a text message from a fake number too. The person was telling me that they were from the grade above me, same grade as the brother, and that I was super cute, but wasn't going to tell me who they were until the next day at 12 a.m. Obviously, I was convinced that it was the brother, especially with the next day. I had posted 3 to 4 stories on my Snap. He was the first to view each one. I remember being at the gym with my friend, texting the brother, being like, that was you who texted me, and freaked out, saying, no, why would you do that? Then went as far as tweeting about some of the girls being crazy. In my opinion, when someone reacts to something this way, it means they usually did it, LOL. But to this day, I still do not know who the number was. Keep that in mind. I had texted him times before, and he never answered until this one. March 2016 rolled around, and I had tweeted about how badly I wanted a puppy. Again, this could all be coincidence, and it's okay for you to think I'm crazy because I feel like I'm crazy writing this. A few days later, the brother gets a cute puppy. The cutest ever. I remember going over to their house to hang with the sister and asking him if I could play with the puppy. This day is when shit really hit the fan. He tweeted something along the lines of, I guess you can only play with my puppy, which I thought was directed towards me. So after that, I deleted him from all channels because I was so pissed that he would say something like that. I stopped coaching the sports team with the sister because at this point shit got awkward. I didn't want to have to be around the brother. Flash ahead to my 26th birthday, May 2016, where I was finally allowed back at the bar I got kicked out of in 2015 because someone, still didn't know at this time, got me kicked out. At this point, things were never really the same with the brother. I had really strong feelings for him, but he had so much hate for me, it seemed like. I really had no idea because he never shared that he had feelings for me or anything, so I thought it was only one way. I started hanging out at the dive bar almost 5 to 6 days a week and, being a 20-year-old with my friends, where the brother and I had to basically coexist because he had so much hate for me and he never wanted to speak to me. I tried multiple times to reach out to him, but he never would. A few things did go down that are important to include in the overall story that adds to everything. He was on Bumble and kept matching with me. Like, what? I would respond to him. I would message him on there and be like, what the fuck? No response. But the weird part was that even though he never responded, our messages and match never went away like they're supposed to. If you don't know, when you match with someone on Bumble and they don't interact with you, after 24 hours, the message and the match go away. But for some odd reason, there was a flaw only with him, where the message just would never go away, even if he didn't say anything. I legit deleted my account and made a new one 3 times just to see how each time it would match me, and each time there was a flaw and it didn't delete. So weird. Lastly, I found out a year after I got kicked out of the bar for being underage that it was the brother who told the owner I was not 21, LMFAO. There are so many things I could share, but it would make the story so long. I can't remember the exact dates to a lot of things. It'll make it more confusing. From May 2016 to January 2017, I started going to the bar. I still continued going to the bar. I saw other people and so did he. We basically coexisted, but him still having so much anger and hate towards me. To end things, I met the boyfriend I am with now, Christmas Eve 2016. We started dating February 2017 and have been together since. I'm the happiest ever and thriving. To wrap things up, the brother and I still have never spoken about any of the events that occurred. We're still not friends on social media, although I tried adding him a few weeks ago on Instagram when he came on my suggestions, and he denied me within seconds. Oh well. I've not spoken to the ex in over 4 years now, which I'm grateful for, LOL. The brother still hangs out at the dive bar and now has a girlfriend who hangs there as well, and did when I used to go. And no, I do not go to this bar anymore. Since January 2017, I've only stepped in the bar twice. I'm still friends with the sister. We keep in touch often. There's so many unanswered questions, such as who was behind the mysterious fake number? Why does the brother hate me so much? Did the brother ever have feelings? Why did he match with me on Bumble? And so many more that I likely will never have answers to. Which now leads me to this. What do you think? Was I just a batshit 21-year-old desperate for love? Did the brother actually have feelings that he held back telling me? Why so much hate? Why does he still have so much hate for me after 4 to 5 years? Let me know on your podcast. I'd love to hear from you and all your listeners. The story is juicy and needs to be heard. Hopefully it never gets back to the brother. LMFAO. Oh well. P.S. You should have somewhere where listeners can tell you people's crazy stories. That would be just as fun. Sincerely, the girl who was in love with her ex's brother. That was a long one, was it not? Okay, so my thoughts on this one, honestly, it sounds to me that the brother had huge feelings for you. I feel like the ex might have got wind that the brother was hanging out with you, and I feel like the brother might have been blackmailed by the ex. If you don't tell the owner of the bar that this girl is 21 or not 21, I'm going to turn you into the cops for serving her underage or like getting her alcohol yourself or something like that. So then I feel like the ex might have conned the brother into that. And then the brother felt bad. The ex was like, you know, hey, you're a piece of shit brother to me. So then the ex made him cut off communication with you. So now he lives with the resentment against you for dating his brother, aka your ex, in the first place. In the first place, when he was like, when you two maybe should have been together from the get-go. That's my synopsis on it. I feel like the fake number and stuff, I bet it was definitely him. Or it could have been the ex. It could have been the ex kind of holding the phone over the brother and being like, send this to her. Send this to her. I want proof. I want proof that she does really like you or like something. I don't know. I think it just has to do with something within the sibling relationship to where, does he actually hate you? No. But I think he resents you, and it's almost one of those situations he has to completely remove himself from and pretend like it never happened so that he can heal. What do you think? I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thanks for bearing with me for a fun few juicy secrets. And if you've ever fucked your boss, fucked your best friend's dad, or fucked someone of position of power, please tell me how it happened because I need to know. Thank you and goodbye.